this is a really cool bandage. It has a couple of features we haven't looked at in the past. The one big thing, go ahead and give a spoiler, that I really like about this bandage is how small it is. We're going to open up and you get a lot of bandage for what's actually compressed down into this. So really think this would be a great addition to your trauma kit. So we're going to take a close look at the packaging here. When I fold this tab over right here, we're about 8.5 inches in length, and then we're about right at 5 inches in width, and we're probably about, I would guess, maybe 3/4 of an inch thick. Super small packaging. If we take a look at the outside here, we do have 4 points where we can open up. This is super thick mill plastic, so you're not going to be able to tear into it unless you tear into the tear points right here. On the back side here, we have some directions just in case you can't remember how to apply the bandaging, and you can look at the directions right here. So let's open it up. Open it up from the tear point right here. Okay. Now, this is going to be a new feature right here with this bandage that we haven't seen in a while. So we open it up, and we get a little bit wider bandage now. So now the wings are open. That's going to give us a larger surface area to control. We'll flip it over. Here you see our elastic wrap. You still have the Velcro here that's going to help keep it closed, as well as the plastic clip here. So let's apply it. Alright, so my buddy here has a nasty cut here. Besides the amputation, we'll just go away from that. But he has a nasty cut right here that doesn't require a tourniquet. Okay, it's not major bleeding, but we want to cover it up. Okay, so we've already unfolded the wings here. So as we put the bandage on to the injury, we open up this side here. We have this part here. This has some Velcro here that we can let drop down. So as we spin the elastic band around, it's going to come back and attach right here and help hold the bandage in place for us. So pull it tight, and now it's held there. So the bandage is in place now. So now we can try to cover up this bandage here to control bleeding and to protect it. As we come back around, we have this piece of Velcro here that will help hold it in place. And as a secondary, you have the clip here that we can clip in and help secure it. So one of the big differences between a pressure bandage and a tourniquet is when you place a tourniquet on an arm or a leg and you go to feel a pulse past the tourniquet, you will not have a pulse there. With a pressure bandage, we will still keep a pulse. That's what you want. If you put a pressure bandage on too tight and you do not have a pulse past the injury, where the ankle or the wrist is, then you have a tourniquet. Just pretend like my dude has a foot down here. I would check for a pulse down here. You can check on the ankle or top of the foot right there. And we still want to make sure he has a pulse, because this is just a pressure bandage. This is not a tourniquet. So you would still want a pulse down the end of his foot. The absorbent pad here is roughly 8 by 10 inches. And then the best I can measure this elastic band unstretched is about 5.5 feet. One of the things we don't talk about a lot is, say, what happens if we don't have a tourniquet and we still have a lot of bleeding? Well, then a pressure bandage is all we have, so of course we have to use that. So let's say my buddy here is like, oh my gosh, his leg is gone, so he has a tourniquet. Alright, so let's use it. Open it up. Pull it tight. I'm going to turn the windlass until bleeding stops. Pull the timestamp across. Now we have the bleeding stopped. No more squirting bright red blood out here. But oh my gosh, he has another cut on his arm. Or we'll say this arm. We need to look at that. But he doesn't have another tourniquet. But he has a pressure bandage. So we've already used his tourniquet. Let's use his pressure bandage on this injury up here on the arm. So here we took care of the major life bleeding. Notice the missing leg. And then we're like, oh yeah, we have a lot of bleeding come out of the arm. But he only had one tourniquet. But he had a pressure bandage. So we went and we used what we had. So we didn't talk about wound packing in this video necessarily. So absolutely you could wound pack the shoulder or that nasty cut that we had right here into the arm. You could use compressed gauze or hemostatic agent, whatever you had, and then use the compression bandage to go over top of it to hold it in place. So if you guys are thinking about building a trauma kit, there's a few things in this video that we've covered that you probably should look at. You need at least one tourniquet, probably 2 tourniquets. You need a pressure bandage. You need some compressed gauze or hemostatic agent. You could also look at having some chest seals. So I hope this video helps. You never know when you'll be the first responder. Remember, you need the right gear and the right training.